Welcome back as we dive into what has been a sterling cricket season for the Proteas, the South African cricket team. Happy campers at the moment after claiming an ODI series victory over Sri Lanka on home soil. And they took on the Islanders in Cape Town yesterday and, of course, dominated in a very high-scoring match. Now, joining us this morning with her analysis of the Proteas' recent performances is the First Lady of South African cricket, Ms. Kass Naidoo.
What an intro, thank you.
Nothing like having your life, sort of praise-seed in one line, but it's you must be reveling in the Proteas' performances at the moment. Is it all that? Up against a much depleted, if I can say that with all due respect, Sri Lankan squad. Is this Proteas side as good as they look at the moment?
They are good, and I think sometimes we've got to put into context victories.
Yeah.
You've still got to beat a poor team, and if you don't beat them, then people wonder, how far have you really come? So when you look at the Proteas, the top six is really powerful. I mean, have a look at it. You've got Quinton de Kock and Amla opening. You've got Faf du Plessis, AB de Villiers. Let's not forget Miller's on the sideline.
Yeah.
It is a really, really good team.
It speaks of a culture of winning, I think, is part of that. So often the South African, in all disciplines, we need to be pushed to get those amazing results at the moment. That seems to be our basis point. What do you make of AB's return? Where do you think his headspace is? He's been gifted. Faf did a fantastic job with marshalling the psychology of this team. Where's AB in the world?
AB's wife is expecting their second child, so he's a dad.
We love you, brother. We love you, brother. I feel for you. Enough said, actually.
He's got a lot of challenges and a lot of things to think about, but he's had this break and he's come back and he looks really fresh. He looked sharp at the crease yesterday.
Yeah.
There's an energy about the South African team when AB's back.
Yeah.
And I call him the superhero of South African cricket. When he's there, anything can happen. He wants a World Cup trophy. Desperately.
We all want a world, almost as much as I want my boy to come into the world. I want a World Cup trophy, and I'm sure he feels the same way, all jokes aside. The team really has depth at the moment. You mentioned batting depth, bowling depth at the moment. Kagiso really is delivering on a very batting-friendly pitch. We saw what he could do. What stars have shone for you in this Proteas squad?
What's been interesting about this summer is been an all-round team effort.
Yeah.
They play for each other. And there's a healthy competition. There's a niggle. Do you know when you're with your mates and everyone's just competing? There's nothing funny about it, but everyone's G'd up by each other's performances. You push each other on. I've really loved the way Rabada's come on. I think Wayne Parnell coming back from injury, it's been good to see that.
Yeah.
For me, the biggest competition lies in the bowling unit. I think someone's got to pick their hand up and say, I'm that new ball bowling partner for Rabada. Morris is coming back from injury, so there's a lot of depth and talent. In the end, who makes it into the playing 11 come Champions Trophy? Well,
that's exactly the position Russell Domingo wants to be, having had the opportunity with a little less pressure to blood in some new players, test them in different formats of the game. The next test, a mountain to climb as we leave home soil off to New Zealand, one of the best ODI teams in the world at the moment. You talk about bowling power, they've got some big guns there. This is going to be a massive challenge.
This is the biggest challenge ahead of the Champions Trophy. This will tell South African cricket where we really are. I think you go to New Zealand, you've got to deal with jet lag first up. Their first game is a T20 on the 17th. We finish on Friday, the 10th. They're hopefully going to have a series whitewash. Heading to New Zealand, #1 ranked team in the world, the pressure's going to be on.
And just very quickly, do you think we'll get that 14-game unbeaten run to take us beyond Hansie Cronje's glory era?
It's interesting because everyone says that when you win, it becomes a habit. And I think they're in that winning habit. But yesterday, they would have kind of sat up and thought, listen here, Sri Lanka without Lakmal, without Matthews, got very close to, would have been a historic run chase at Newlands. So they would have looked at a couple of things that they could have improved, but I think going to New Zealand, it's really going to tell us where we are. Got a good feeling of our Champions Trophy, but don't really want to jinx it. I hope we can get silverware soon. I think one trophy, and then the floodgates are going to open.
Hopefully you have hit the money there. Now, I know you really have connected with this team, so you've given us some wonderful insights. Are you going to New Zealand?
I'm not. I'm a mum of three.
So sorry,
come on,
man.
That's my real job.
Now, Kaz, we love the way that you deliver the game to us, so thank you so much for stepping into studio this morning. Despite your issues with the taxi, come on, Cape Town. But enjoy the feast of cricket to come, and we'll definitely connect with you again over the ICC.
Such a pleasure being with you.
That's Kass Naidoo giving us a bit of an update on where this incredible Proteas squad is at the moment, but let's give you an update on what's happening in the world around us with the news headlines.